You have 5 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Minister. I appreciated the presentation, and congratulations on the launch of Science Odyssey. There's a couple of things happening in the Sioux, including Atomica, which is a little business set up by a scientist working for Natural Resource Canada, and it's just a side business that he does and employs a lot of young people, and it's all about bugs, and it's really exciting. And so that a couple of weeks ago, he was part of Science Week that they do in Sault Ste. Marie, and your friend, Dr. Roberta Bondar, and my friend, Canada's first woman in space, first neurologist in space, was there speaking, and I was pleased to see they had these young elementary students with an Atomica at a senior citizens home, and they were teaching the seniors science. And I was pleased to see that it was about 65% young ladies. So, you know, I think we're starting to see some changes since Dr. Roberta Bondar came on the scene. But on that sort of topic and about education, in your presentation in the estimates, you noted that there is $1.3 billion going to be spent on SIF for post-secondary education. I know in the Sioux that Algoma University, Sioux College, and the Anishinaabe Discovery Center received some funding. And I understand on a local level the significance that it's doing. But if you could sort of tell this committee on the macro Canadian scene what the $1.3 billion is doing for this country.
Thanks, Terry, and thank you always for your strong support of science. And I think this committee would want to recognize it's the 25th anniversary since Dr. Bondar has been in space. You talked a bit, Dr. Roberta Bondar always talks about creating a culture of curiosity. This is what we want to do in this country. All children are born curious. They want to discover and explore. We want to foster that through elementary school, high school, and beyond. And of course, we're happy to do that, whether it's our investments in promo science of $10.8 million in this last budget, whether it's Science Odyssey, 600 events happening across the country, whether it's for coding, $50 million to teach grade school children to code. And the last area you hit on was the SIF. And as you know, in Budget 2016, we made a $2 billion investment in research and innovation infrastructure across the country. Much of our infrastructure was 25 years of age. This is good for our students. We want them to have the most up-to-date labs and tools. They're going to be the ones out in the workforce creating the job for the jobs of the future. So $2 billion, and that could be matched by the provinces, the territories, other organizations. And we're really pleased. So we've announced 300 projects. I've had the privilege of going, whether it's Holland College in Prince Edward Island, Centennial College in Toronto, or SAIT out west. This will make a real difference to our country. And with that, I will just highlight in Budget 2017 that we're also looking at federal science infrastructure. My job is to work across government to bring together the science-based departments. And in Budget 2017, we've announced that we will work to create a science infrastructure strategy for the federal government so they have the best labs and tools.
Excellent. Also, I noted in the estimates that the Natural Science and Engineering Research Council is seeking $101.8 million in grants under the Canada First Research Excellence Fund, and it's $70 million more than the 2016-17 estimates. And this funding is a joint initiative of the 3 research granting agencies. So how will this funding be distributed between basic and applied research? And perhaps you could talk about, you know, how this particular group makes it easier for the private sector to collaborate with academia and private business as well.
Thanks, Terry, for the question. I'll just start by reminding this esteemed committee that in Budget 2017, we have the superclusters It'll be 900 plus million that will go to areas such as agriculture, agri-food, advanced manufacturing, clean tech, clean energy. The Canada First Research Excellence Fund invests in research across the country. Last September, we made an investment of $900 million in areas such as brain science, neuroscience, agriculture and agri-food, quantum computing. These are really areas where Canada has tremendous strengths, where Canada can lead. As I said, I was at the National Science Foundation. They want to partner with Canada. They want to see our good research in Arctic, in quantum, in neuroscience, and again, I'll highlight biodiversity. But Lawrence, would you like to talk a bit about CFAP?
Very briefly, please. Very briefly.
I'll be very brief. I think, in terms of your question about basic versus sort of applied research, the CFREF is more toward the end of funding basic research, but it was very much focused on areas where where the institution had significant demonstrated capacity in areas that could be ultimately demonstrated to be of significant economic benefit to Canada, and a strong plan for implementation. And so, again, although it was more toward the basic research end of the spectrum, it was very much designed to be able to lever areas of expertise and create future economic benefit.
Thank you very much. We're going to move to